I'm really trying to get the grittiness out of it. But that's the moon, y'all. Isn't that beautiful? Hey, moon. Hey. Oh, that's cute. It's pretty. That is beautiful. So we are looking at what is called March 3rd, the full moon, also known as the worm moon, and will be total lunar eclipse, commonly called a blood moon, because it's turning a deep rusty red, and it's visible across North America, South America, the Pacific, Australia, and parts of Asia, with totality lasting about 58 minutes. So the total lunar eclipse blood moon, Earth passes directly between the sun and moon, casting a reddish glow. Absolutely beautiful. The visibility best viewed from western North America, higher in the sky, and the east coast during the moon set. The times: early morning, Eastern time 6:04 a.m. to 7:02. Central is 5:04 a.m. to 6:02 a.m. Mountain Standard Time 4:04 a.m. to 5:02 a.m. And Pacific, is that Pacific? Or post? Anyway, 3:04 a.m. to 4:02 a.m. Safety. Safe to view with the naked eye. No special equipment is required. Oh, I don't even have it on the moon anymore. What happened? Too far in? Let me see. Oh, wow, it went that quick? Hold up. Let me see if I can get it back in view. Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm so sorry. That is amazing. Amazingly beautiful. Look at that. Oh, goodness. So the moon will be in constellation Leo. This is the only total lunar eclipse of 2026, making it a special astronomical event. I agree. That is just beautiful. Wow. I was hoping to get rid of some of the grittiness, but that's it, y'all. It's a phone camera. It's doing its job. That is beautiful. So, we have some errands to run today. We want to give our gratitude despite the chaotic events that are taking place. You know, we're always on the side of peace, and we just continue to trust that it's going to I was reading some opinions, and I guess at this time I just give gratitude. I'm not going to say that I trust one thing or the other, because I think there's quite a bit going on that quite often we just don't have all the information. And is it trust? I'm not sure that's the word I'm looking for. And it's too early for me to really get the word that I want to say. So I just give my gratitude to be able to view this beautiful moon and have the equipment to do so. But there are some things I want to say, and the only reason I'm not withholding anything. I really just don't have the word that I want to say. Like, I said what I said, and like I said, I'm on the side of peace. However, I'm not the one that's, in charge making the decisions. So I'm I would have some other words to say, but at the moment, they just don't come to mind at the moment. I think I'm thinking more of making sure I get up to get things handled correctly today. That I'm able to handle a lot of my goals that I've set for today. You know how you write out and you plan out your day, and you're trusting that the universe is working it all out in your favor, and that you're just proceeding, you're moving forward. But quite often it's not looking ideally like you would want things to be, and that's kind of like how it's going in some areas. In other areas, I'm grateful. It took a lot out of me financially, eating healthy and fresh fruits and vegetables. I literally went into debt, and it didn't help that I have a stalker, and then my groceries was taken. All those other events didn't help the situation, and so I just kind of just stopped, because I noticed how they will take your money, but when you are asking questions and stuff, all of a sudden they're not offering you any assistance. So I just stopped, and I just started I'm still paying, but it crashed my credit, as best I could say. It just destroyed my credit. They kept taking astronomical amounts of points, like it wasn't the norm of what they were doing. And it feels like they're targeting you and so forth. And it's like, why keep consuming? So I just stopped consuming as much. However, the food, I'm still eating the fruits and the vegetables, and changing in that area, and occasionally getting a sandwich here and there. But I've totally changed my meal plans and so forth for the month, for the week, for the day, for the hour, for the minute, second. I've just changed things around so much that it looks a lot worse, I think, than what it actually is, simply because of eating healthier didn't necessarily mean that everything was going to align, showing the reflection of a healthier lifestyle. Like, I got rid of all that stuff that no longer served me in the storage, and then I'm washing a lot of that stuff that's just been sitting in bags. And of course the vehicle's filled with more stuff, even though it's not running well. I did put on my page, YouTube page, that if you guys wanted to donate, I would definitely appreciate any donations, what have you. And if you want to talk further, just let me know what platform you want to talk on, and if you want a reading done or what have you. So I've just really literally been focusing on my little list of goals while sharing it with you guys and the content and so forth. So what I didn't do was record some of the lives and some of the conversations on other platforms to bring it over to YouTube. I had not done that because I just didn't have enough memory to edit it and to bring it over. And then I keep the privacy of the conversations of the people, so that's why I did not bring the video over to YouTube, because I would have to edit out some stuff, and I just didn't have the memory on the phone. So I've been deleting stuff that I've already put up, and pictures and things like that. However, like I said, there's not enough memory to be able to edit and bring over the content for you guys to listen to the discussion. But I am putting up on the community page notes of some of the stuff that we talked about. So it's not necessarily my perspective, how I view things and see the world, and the current status that we're in. It's 4:23 a.m., guys. I wanted to at least let you know, so if you want to research some of the information, you can do so. And I will put together just short content on some of the information, just like today with the 33 or 333, depending on who you're talking to and how significant those numbers may pertain to you. 33 pertains to me, and like I said, I'm just in that gratitude mode. And this debt that I'm clearing out to no longer have, I took the responsibility, ownership of creating it, and I'm disappointed at how they handled me with it when I were making the attempts to pay it. So that's the thing when you get the short-term type loans and they're having you pay a small amount, but then if you miss one, all of a sudden they say you got to pay the whole lump sum. Well, if you were paying in partial small payments, that's not going to change. Especially for some group of people, you got to keep taking that, even if it's late, you got to keep taking the short-term payment of small increments, or it's just never going to really work, or you have to wait, until everything else that's still taking short-term payments and then try to pay off, that lump sum that they're saying. But I think he screwed me. I think normally when I would call and I say, okay, let me at least pay that back pay or whatever, they're like, well, we can put you on this plan, or we can do this and that. They didn't do any of that. He said, you got to pay the whole thing. So I was disappointed with that. It's like they keep changing up. And that's how it appears to be with consuming, is that they keep changing up stuff. I don't know what that's about. When you got those short-term loans, at first they said they weren't going to report it. Now they are reporting it. And they keep changing how they do things, just in general, and doing a lot of change. So you just have to kind of go with it, go with the flow. And like I said, the only gratitude that I really got out of it was the fact of my health and eating healthier and doing the pickup, because there's times when, since I don't have my wheelchair, a workable wheelchair, the drive up works for me, and that way I can get the grapes and veggies and all that good stuff. So it worked for me. I have much gratitude for that ability to be able to drive up and get healthy foods. So I guess that's pros and cons of all of it. And like I said, I took the responsibility. I'm still continuing to pay and do what I have to do. But when the rules keep changing, for someone like me, it can create a indefinite pause in some areas. So, I'm doing the best that I can do. And I always tell you guys, if you want particular information, I'll definitely give it to you. And there's a lot of content that I'm working on, especially for different platforms. So your input makes a difference as to what I'll put up on YouTube. And there's a lot that's been going on in California, especially for the blacks in California and so forth. And you've heard from particular leaders and so forth, and the ones that were moved versus the ones that were not and so forth. Still doesn't change how they're viewing blacks in the communities and so forth, and when it comes to resources. So when I told you code red, it listed what code red usually means, whether it's abductions or harm or what have you. And you have to be alert. You cannot just assume just because they have a smile and they say they want to help that they are intentionally trying to help. That you proceed with caution. And that could be anywhere. And we're still finding incidents that are happening So you just want to be aware and be cautious of your environment and what's taking place. Good news is a lot of us have been getting our exercise in. We're eating healthier. They have a lot of natural places where you can get natural foods and so forth. With my vehicle not running well, I unfortunately have not been able to take advantage of a lot of the places that have free veggies and fruits and so forth. So I really have limited mobility in more ways than one. But nonetheless, like I said, I'm always grateful. And I know I just keep reverting back to the gratitude. But at times, I do question my next step for this vehicle, because I do keep getting repairs done. And now I need a whole new soft top. And with the raining, it's not helping the situation of the soft top. And then the tape that I used leaves residue. So I'll show you guys that. I put a wrap on the Jeep. It's not like the wraps that you're probably thinking of, but it's wrap, and it doesn't look as cute as the Jeep once looked on some of the videos, especially the most recent one that I put up where I was getting my steps in. So the weight loss, you can definitely see it. I'm very grateful for the weight loss. I keep fluctuating between, like, I would say 168 and 188, which still isn't bad. However, that fluctuation, I think, has to do with the inflammation, as I told you guys. And I have to continue to do the stretches and so forth for circulation. And then when I'm doing my squats, I implement additional squats, additional movements, I should say, each time I get more followers. So I welcome all the new followers, and I'm thankful for the continued followers. I really appreciate you guys. And as I said, give me feedback on, the content and so forth, so I can dedicate a little bit more to my audience versus, documenting and putting up certain information of my spirituality and things that I see and communicate with you guys. So I'm really enjoying it, and I hope you guys are enjoying it too. This is a beautiful moon to be able to view together, and I definitely will put up some more content today to share with you guys. But you see how gritty it is, so I will go ahead and make this video short, because this is about as good as it gets when it comes to clarity. I've dropped the phone a couple of times, so it's not as clear as it normally would be of the moon, but I still think you still get the gesture of what's taking place. I think it's just beautiful. And unfortunately, it's not that clear. But it still looks amazing. I think it looks amazing. So we will chat later. Let's see what else we got. Today is Tuesday, so we have the deal drops that are dropping. Let's see what we have. Personally, I was just going to focus on getting the content up before creating another video, and that's why I've put up some of the older videos, because I only have so much memory available. And we could do a food review on a breakfast sandwich, perhaps. Let's see. But it's up to you guys. So you have to let me know. I see by the numbers, and but there aren't as many comments. So definitely comment and let me know what you're liking, what you're not liking, and so forth. And then as far as for me, I really think that I'm going to continue wearing the same little ensemble. I was thinking about changing it up, and then I was like, occasionally I may do certain things, but I really want to focus more on getting this content that I have out to you guys and do it in a creative way that you actually enjoy it. Longer content is what has been asked of me from you guys way back, and I implement the short with the long. So let me get that together for you guys at least. We have a lot of good topics and subjects I really want to talk to you guys about. And then some of you just, you just click on for a minute, you read it, and move on. So it just depends. I have a variety of followers. And men, I like the men too. I think that is so amazing to see you guys and to get your point of view, especially as a woman. Hearing a man's point of view hits differently. As women, we talk a certain way and we click a certain way, but when you have those conversations with a male, it's different. And a lot of times it's something like, I didn't quite think in those terms. But then a lot of times the male perspective is sometimes something that makes more sense to me. And it's not as emotional. I don't want to say that all women, respond in a more emotional way, but with men, it just seems to be a little bit different. Just a little bit. But overall, I really think that I have improved with giving you content that visually is much better than what it has been. So I trust that you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, and in any input that you guys give me, I will definitely consider and intend to keep getting better, like getting some type of camera that can take better pictures of the moon. I love moon watching. I love doing the sunsets. So I want a camera that can really capture the same thing that I'm looking at, so you can see what I see. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see here. I think say 53 minutes. I don't think I can hold my hand like this for that long. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up. We've been on here for 23 minutes. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. Have a wonderful day. Write down your plans. And just know the universe is working in our favor and giving us grace so we can have the gratitude for such. So, Tuesday, do we want to do the deal drop, guys, or do we want to do a little fasting? I had a little sip of the vinegar this morning instead of lemon water. And can I tell a difference? Yeah, it went down a little bit different. That vinegar was a little bit strong for some reason. So let's see here what we got going on. Looks like nothing. We're just gonna run our errands. So I have my list. Go ahead and get that together. And looks like we're doing laundry today. That's not my norm, but that's what we're doing. We are doing laundry. So we have a list. going to go ahead and get started at 4:38 in the morning. And let's get our goals done. I don't think I'm ready to spend money on another phone, though. I wonder what I could get that could take excellent pictures. Something that could take really good pictures. Alright. Let's put this